Feel free to share. And welcome to Soul Sisters. I have here today my Albany High Class of 84 Class Reunion. I am so happy to have everyone on the platform with me today. These are more like sisters. They are definitely sisters. When I see them in the street, I think of you guys as relatives. You know how you don't see them every single day, but when you come across them, you see them, and I just like sharing and talking with them on today. We have Michelle Smalls with us. We have Rhonda Franklin. We have Tammy Thomas and Odessa Hall. Hello.
I lost my picture. I lost the camera. I lost my camera, ladies.
Okay.
What happened? I can hear you talking.
Okay. Well, we're live. So what you can do, maybe you hit, right next to mute, there's a camera button. Maybe hit that button.
You probably hit the wrong button.
If not, you can click on and come back in and see whether that works. Okay. Hello again, once again. So how everybody doing tonight?
Wonderful.
Awesome. Wonderful. Okay, so how life been treating you?
Life for me, I think
y'all can't get quiet now.
Well, my phone's a ring.
I lost it. Okay, it's coming down.
They go, Odessa having technical difficulties. Oh, Tammy too?
Wait a minute.
Everybody's phones are ringing right about now.
Mm-hmm. Okay, bear with us.
There we go. We have to get them to come up and come back on. We're just as in.
Okay. Okay, maybe Tammy will join back up with us. Her thing was disconnected.
That's how everything happens. You gotta go live.
Yeah, we're live now. We're live. So here with Michelle and Rhonda, and hopefully Tammy and Odessa come back on. Here goes Tammy right here. So I'm asking everybody, how you been? How's everything been going?
Everything's great. Everything's going well.
Mm-hmm. So what you doing in Baltimore, Michelle?
What am I not doing? So for the most part, I am working on my second master's to be a licensed mental health therapist. I am a certified life coach. I'm a licensed minister with the AME Church at Empowerment Temple. I work with the homeless population, homeless youth and runaways with Joy Baltimore, Just Our Youth Baltimore. So a lot of community work with people.
Okay. So you work for yourself. So what do you do?
I do a lot.
Okay. Because I just noticed you said, you your own woman. So I'm just like, how do you get there? How do you get there? Tell us.
How to get there? How to be your own woman, or
working for yourself.
I'm not there yet. I am working towards myself being there. Entrepreneur with Paparazzi Jewelry.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. I'm also working on my license to be selling life insurance through Primerica Financial Services, helping people with life. So like I said, I do a lot of different things. So my thing is, if you don't see a table, if nobody invites you to the table, you make it.
Right. Yeah. And I think right now, today, what's going on in our society, with, Black Lives Matter, you just got to open that door for yourself. Today is a prime time to open some doors. What about you, Rhonda?
Oh, well, I'm in the great state of Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Yeah, in Tennessee. Been here. My daughter's getting to 19. So about 18 years. I've left Albany 22 years ago. Didn't realize it'd been that long. But after I was still teaching school. I had taken a break after my husband passed away because my kids were still kind of young, high school, elementary, and middle school. So I took off some years, and about 6 years ago, I went back into teaching school. So I'm back to teaching school. As you guys know, I am a licensed ordained pastor and teacher. And
I did know that.
Yeah, lots of ministry work. That's me. I love to be out in the streets. I work with Global Ministries that's out of Albany, and then also here I'm covered under Great Community Church, Church of God in Christ here. So we're doing some, a lot of things that, like me still, and I'm a mom and I'm a grandmother and loving it.
Well, okay.
Right now, for me, honestly, life has really adjusted. If y'all know, Tony and I, we did everything together. We was always together. And so when I think that truthfully and transparently, I think that he's been gone 12 and a half years.
Wow.
It took a minute, and I'm glad I did, because I had to give my kids time to grieve. So I had to grieve first. But now, and not just the second half of my life, but I'm really into I have to reinvent myself, because all I knew was Rhonda from Albany, what Rhonda did there, whatever. I know her very well. And many times when people meet you, is where to keep you. And so now I'm having to reinvent myself. I'm a different person now. And I can honestly say that never losing the legacy of my husband, my late husband, but I had to make the decision to leave the grave, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I had gotten comfortable. I had taken up residence. It became the thing that was familiar and safe for me to do. I could never get hurt again if I could continue to walk as a widow and be a widow. But I realized that, if I didn't watch myself, I was going to be consummated to a dead man.
Right. Yeah, I understand.
To live. And I when you hear my testimony, the brain aneurysm, the different things that God has allowed me to live through and see.
I read that. Amen.
It's been a great, it's a new adventure, and I'm glad that God is doing new things in my life. So that's where we're at. We're on a progression going forward.
Awesome.
Paparazzi jewelry.
Awesome. And I'm glad you have that testimony. I read your testimony on Facebook about the aneurysm, and God is good. God is still a miracle worker. That's good. And I reinvented myself too. I went back to school, and got my master's, my 2 masters, but I did that at an age. It wasn't something I did out of high school. It's something that I did at an age. So that makes the difference. So we all reinventing ourselves, and sometimes maybe we're going to do it again further on down the line, and it's moving forward, that pressing forward. Okay, Odessa, how you doing? What you up to?
What am I up to? I'm getting to know me a little better now that all the kids are out the way. I had taken on my sister's kids and raised them. So the baby's 17 now. So now, I'm just trying to get to know me a little better, trying to get closer to the Lord. I'm a member at United Ordained Church in Troy. That's where God led me back in 2004, 2005, towards the end of 2004, early 2005, under Bishop Edmonds. And I've been there ever since, grown in the Word, grown in the Lord. And He planted me there right on time, because right around then, I started losing my mom, and I was losing my mind. And so I said, God knew what He was doing way before I did. So, He planted me there. And a few times, I tried to pull back and, do my own thing. But He said, no, that's where you're supposed to be. So that's all I've been doing, is like working on the Lord. I usher in church. I volunteer a lot. I try to help people when I can. I try to be there.
All of that is ministry.
Yeah, and I try to help others, but I don't want to lose myself either. That's why I said I'm learning who Dessa is today.
Yeah, right. You
all
gotta
my
save
life
some
I
time
spent
for yourself.
taking care of other people, taking care of everybody else. So now I'm getting close to retirement. I just turned 54. I got 33 in, and Lord, I'm tired, but whatever God has for me, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready and willing.
Yeah. Yeah, and I remember your mother. We was talking a little before we got on live, and we were talking about how we knew each other. But I remember Odessa's mother. She was such a sweet, sweet, sweet person. She was definitely a sweet person, and we miss her. We do miss her. Hey, Tammy, how you doing, Miss Thomas?
I'm good. How are you, ladies?
How you been?
I'm here.
What you been
I
up
can
to?
hear you.
Okay, what you been up to?
I can't hear you, Tam. Oh, okay.
Dessa took my life story.
Okay.
You can't hear me?
Yeah,
I can hear you now. Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. Well, Dessa took my life story. I've spent the last 30 some odd years taking care of my siblings and my nieces and nephews when my siblings passed, and now I'm trying to find Tammy.
Yeah.
I've been with National Grid 31 years.
Wow. Yeah.
I wish I could say I'm close to retirement, but I'm too young, Dessa. So
I can start a new career.
I'll start a new one.
I don't want to start a new career. When I'm done at National Grid, I want to be living the life of luxury. I want to relax.
That's good. That's good.
I mean, I climb 25-foot ladders. I dig ditches to repair gas leaks. I'm tired.
Yeah.
When I retire, I want to retire.
I understand. I understand. So we was talking
all I've been doing.
We was talking a little bit. We was talking a little bit before we got on how we knew each other, and we were saying that I knew Rhonda and Michelle probably from second grade. Well, Rhonda second grade, Michelle fourth grade, definitely, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know. Let me see. We got some comments in there, and then
I can't see the comments. Why can't I see the comments?
Probably. Are you on a laptop?
No, I'm on my phone.
Yeah, that's why. So, what about Odessa and Tammy knew each other when? When did you say?
Yes, I met Tammy at school 23. I thought it was third grade. She said fourth grade. Yeah, fourth grade. Yeah, we've been knowing each other since fourth grade, and all the way through. We went to middle school together, and then Albany High.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So speaking of Albany High, now in reflection, as we look back and what we did in Albany High, naturally all of us was teenagers and everything was going wild in us and stuff like that. But how do you feel about your Albany High experience?
I did too. I was into sports. Thank God, sports saved my life. Sports really saved my life. So when I think back to my Albany High days, I think about everyone who was in my circle. We were all like in the little jock crew, because if you wasn't a cheerleader and you wasn't playing volleyball and you wasn't on, we all were involved in after school activity. So that saved me. That saved me.
What about the rest of you?
Memories of Albany High.
Well, I was with the fabulous cheerleaders of Albany High.
Hey.
You in the yearbook. We got you in the yearbook.
Yeah.
And hang around with you. I was I wasn't even part of the student government, but when you hang around certain people, they volunteer, they tell you what you're gonna do and how you're gonna But I pretty much high school, you have your ups and downs, and you just go with the flow.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I'll say, where I stayed busy at.
I loved my high school years.
Yeah, I stayed.
I should say 11th and 12th grade. I loved.
So would you do anything different? I mean, what
I'm so crazy about?
Would any of you do anything different in hindsight? What's going on now? Would you done anything different in high school than what you've done?
Oh God, I would have. Yeah. If I know now what I knew then, probably I would have made some different choices. Yeah. I'm not too proud of all the choices I made, but it was the path that I went down. So it brought me to where I am and who I am today. So I wouldn't change any of it. And I'm grateful for the paths that crossed with me, you know, the friends I met, because that was my young adolescent years. And, you know, and I thought I was all alone until I started connecting with other young ladies who I found out that I wasn't alone. So it made it lighten the load, you know, it just lightened the load. Not that everything was heavy. It's just that, you know, at those teenage years, it was a crucial time in my life.
Yeah, teenagers.
I was very withdrawn. So I don't know. I seem to gravitate towards young ladies who was kind of like pulling on me, like pulling me up.
Right. Okay.
Albany High allowed us our world to expand because you had uptown and you had downtown. You had Hackett, you had Livingston.
Yeah.
We got into Albany High. It all
merged, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It seemed like we became one big happy family. I didn't have issues with anybody from downtown.
Right. Yeah, I do think that the line of demarcation kind of left once you got to high school. Because I remember when I went to Livingston, it was always like an uptown, downtown battle. Like downtown is, uptown is, downtown is. But when you got to Albany High, you found out like we just people, we just hanging, we just having a good time. I don't know about other classes. This is the class of '84. I don't know whether you think the other classes, '83, '82, or '86, do they have that same camaraderie that we still share?
I don't think so.
Class of 84 is it, man. Class of 84. We holding strong. I love feeling the love when we have our little, you know, our summer things. And we used to have the 25 and 30-year anniversaries, but I'm sure we'll get back. But I look forward to those times. I look forward to that reflection.
Yeah, you took me to my first one. I came out there with you.
I did, didn't I?
You trapped me in. And just before we got started, I started thinking of some other people that are not here with us. I thought about Lori Blazer, Lavon Harris, Betty Lou, Tracy London, Renee Maxim, Renee King, Marche Guthrie, Brenda Robinson, Lisa Richardson, Sabrina Robertson, Diane Artist, Courtney Dixon, Sheba Brown, Alice, Nicole, Joy Weatherly, Angela. Any other ones you could think of that maybe I didn't call out?
Val Franklin.
Val
Franklin,
Lori, Sharon.
You know,
Sharon.
Y'all ain't mentioned no guys.
Carmen's actually
guys.
And
Bill, let's say Bill.
Warren, Bill.
Turner.
What was it? Willow, June.
James Bruton,
Willie Miller.
Willie, I see Willie all the time. I see
all the ones that
you remember Wayne Landy? Y'all remember Wayne
Landy? Yes.
What you say, Tammy?
I don't remember him.
He
wasn't in that class.
We have bootleg members like Warren Mackey. In our class.
Grace,
she's so crazy.
Grace, sometimes we do have our Zoom reunion. We meet. We're meeting, but we have like our reunion on Zoom.
Okay.
And Warren Mackey even had a birthday party on Zoom.
Yes.
I miss those days. Yeah.
I heard about it.
A Zoom.
Yeah, next Saturday is my birthday. I'm gonna have a Zoom birthday party.
Zoom one too.
All right.
Awesome. Share the link. We can come on, give a holler out at you.
Yeah, we got Carmen and Renee Maxim's on your live chat.
Are they? I can't see them. I don't see Renee or Carmen.
Renee's on here. She's yelling class of 84. Carmen.
I see her. Class 84. Hey, Renee.
I see Renee.
We were talking about, some of the things. I just like to have a confession that some of these folks had me out in the street fighting, knowing that I love the Lord.
You must be talking about Renee.
I don't want to put no folks up on the blast, but I just want them to know that when I was seeking the Lord, they had me out there Game between rehearsal and youth church and Bible study. I just want you to know there were some folks that don't make me call you out. You know who you are. If you are watching. Try to cost my salvation.
Okay. And what was some of your memorable moments? Like, what you could say if I had one memorable moment at Albany High, what would that be?
Oh, there go the live comments, but now
Homecoming queen.
Yeah, the homecoming queen.
Yes.
Yes.
I think the impromptu church services we would bust out and have. In the cafeteria, we was always singing. It was always something, because we were, whether people were, saved or not, we were church kids.
Right, we were.
R.I.P. James Bellamy.
Yeah, James Bellamy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mark Thompson and even Bishop. So they were.
Yes.
Right.
But the we call them the preachers.
Elgin, don't forget Elgin was there with us for a while.
Yeah.
Husband, well, Herman, I always knew Bishop Herman was going to be who he was. I wasn't surprised by none of that. Pass it out just like this. Okay. All right. Not surprised, but yeah, a lot of them. We brought and we used to laugh because they would come to school dressed like they was going to church.
Yeah, they would. Andre Carter too with the bow ties and shirts and
oh yeah, Evelyn.
Well, I remember that.
Oh, Evelyn, yeah.
They beat me down because I was baptized in the name of in the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost.
And you wasn't baptized.
They had me studying my Bible, and I wasn't trying to be saved.
Tammy, I remember you wore skirts all the time, Tammy. All the time. You were saved, girl.
St. John was having it.
My mother was told that we could not wear pants. It was not by choice.
I remember Katrina McCann. I think she might be.
I was wearing dresses when I met you in fourth grade. I couldn't wear pants from the fourth grade.
No. You was one of the little church girls.
Sneak my pants to school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She said McCann's. I remember the McCann's. Andre McCann. I went to daycare and my first early on. We went to Catholic school back then. Him and his sister. Yeah. Wow.
I remember the McCanns.
Yes.
I remember Katrina being in gym class with shorts up under her skirt.
Mm-hmm. Who was that?
Katrina McCann. They weren't playing. They had that shirt on. Gym time. They had shorts.
But that's all we could do.
Yeah.
We were abused. I think that was abuse.
You still living how you abused? Do you have any symptoms or drawbacks now?
You're like
I think I have frostbite on my toes. I couldn't wear sneakers, and when you had to wear skirts, you had to wear cute shoes.
Yeah.
You couldn't just wear anything with them skirts. So I think my toes might be frostbitten.
Well, look at our society.
That was traumatic, Grace.
Look at our society today. The guys out there with their butt hanging out. It'd be like wintertime, freezing, and their pants are still hanging down. They're not getting frostbite.
I think it's hilarious how I sound. When I see young people, I sound like my mother.
Even with your kids,
we have turned yes.
That we thought was this.
We have turned into our back in the day. The same things we said we weren't.
Exactly, we do.
Yes, exactly. I'm never gonna say that. Now I'm like, oh my God, Dorothy Jean just came out my mouth.
But with all the dress thing aside, I did appreciate that we looked good, like we dressed. We had fashion club. Remember the fashion club side? We believed in looking good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We went out and we did things and we looked good. It wasn't baggedy. Everything wasn't all sexed up. We looked good.
Right.
And it's like a different era now.
Yeah, that was very important. But that was also a part of our culture. We were talking about, sometime when I look back, and I was watching the Don Cornelius show with Soul Train, looking at that history, because many times our culture of dress came from that. You know, you had church and you had that because that was our outlet. That was making TV for us on Saturday morning, the Soul Train. That was it's our culture and way of dress. Pretty much.
I couldn't watch Soul Train.
You couldn't watch. Ooh, you were.
Look, Robin. Why you watch Soul Train?
No. We used to watch it, and then when my mother came home, you turned it off real quick.
Yeah, right.
Crazy for your mother and my mother.
I think sneak a few times, but I wasn't a regular.
Hi, Tammy and Odessa. Hi, Carmen. Sorry.
Yeah, Renee said we were respectful. That's another thing too. That although like you know, me and Odessa got into some trouble and stuff in high school or doing something. I'm saying not bad things, but you know, I cut a couple classes. Okay.
Yeah. We got caught. We wasn't good at it.
We were. What I'm saying, we were respectful. Like in Albany High today, you know, and young people today, you know. Regardless what we did or what we didn't do in our class, we would never call down to the office for, you know, abusing teachers or saying things out of order, you know.
And the truth was, I wasn't scared of them. I was scared of that chick I lived with.
You got that right. You got that right.
Daddy get away with stuff. It wasn't him. I was scared of her. And I think that if we had more of that, as a school teacher, Val Franklin
grew up with the fear of God.
We talk all the time about that, you know, just the difference, and it just rubs you the wrong way. And so when you see how they talk to their parents,
right,
you want to what do you expect them to do? So the lack of respect for authority, but I feel like when you lose respect for your parents, that's a whole other level.
Yeah,
you don't know me, but that person that's making things happen for you. So I think that's the biggest thing. It was something if they said I'm gonna call or make me call home, that was enough to put the fear.
Yeah, me too. I wasn't scared of the police. I was scared of Gracie.
Please don't call.
Right.
You know, and that put us in a rough situation, especially today. We talk about we can go to Black Lives Matter, and we really, what we really need is to educate our community to understand who they are and what they should be doing. However, you know, it's hard because the respect is not there for, you know, not just their parents, but school or their environment or their community. So it's a challenge, you know. Now, how do you reach them? You know, how do you reach them to bring them back to understand that, you know, in order for us to go someplace as a people, right, that we really have to start looking at each other with more respect and being respectful of each other in order for us to prosper and grow. So any ideas of what we could do to bring about that, you know, communally, that tribe effect, that you know, we can stop killing each other. We can have respect for each other. We can encourage each other to, you know, be more positive in our society and obtain the education really that they need, that would be really the foundation of a better tomorrow.
You said a lot. It's education, re-educating, and it's just continue engage with people all the time. You gotta I work with those kids out in the street here in Baltimore. The ages between 16 and 25. I've housed them being homeless. You just gotta continue to engage with them. A lot of them been through so much trauma, so many different things that it's like a movie. You know what I'm saying? You can't believe the things that they have endured. So you just got to continue to engage them in a different lifestyle. I mean, they don't know. I had a young person to text me after I moved her into her apartment. She didn't know how to write a money order, right? And to pay her rent. And that got me so much that she was in a shelter and I was her case manager, moved her into the housing program, that I actually quit my job so I could work in the program with her and all the other ones that I moved into, educate them on a lot of different things, on a lot of different levels, because they don't know. They really don't know. When you meet a 16-year-old and she's lying that she's 20 because she needs shelter, because she has to be off the street at a certain time, it's just a lot. It's a lot.
The accountability is very important. I thank God. We were talking earlier about camp opportunity, and we had the church itself And again, let me preface this, even as a pastor, let me preface this. This is not saying that the church should be doing everything by himself, that don't, that community, but the church was a very vital part of the community. Even the respect for the building itself. People would not be standing in front of the church house drinking and smoking and doing whatever. They respect the vicinity of it. They wouldn't go in the church. They didn't have to be afraid to do that. It was a part of the respect. So I believe that there was a lot of accountability placed around us. We had the village mentality. It's like my mother had eyes everywhere, And so I think that, and I believe that I think somewhere things have gotten changed where we used to be about programs. We had something to do. Church was not so much church as it was just a part of life. And so again, it provided a sense of accountability with us. And I think about, what if those things were taken away from us? What if there was no Reverend Bailey and Camp Opportunities? What if there was no youth church and our different denominations had programs and retreats and Congress, and what if we didn't have none of that stuff? We'd probably look just like these kids look today.
Right.
Livingston Boys Club, Delaware Boys Club.
We had that. We had that.
I went to Arbor Hill Camp.
All of that. They took all of that away.
Right.
Delaware Boys Club, is that still existing?
It is
still there. Delaware's is the only one that's still there. But we used to go to the one in Arbor Hill on Livingston Avenue, right? Mm-hmm. And I used to go to Arbor Hill Camp. I know you guys went to Camp Opportunity, but I went to Arbor Hill Camp. I learned how to sew at Arbor Hill Camp. I learned camera. I learned how camera in Arbor Hill Camp. We had swimming and stuff. And so during the summertime, those where we just didn't just hang out and have fun, but we learned different skills in those environments too.
Yeah.
I mean,
and they're not there anymore.
Even with our children's church, I give props to the children's church, but our children's church was called Sunday school.
Yeah, we went to Sunday school. Yeah.
And so we had to sit with family and we learned our craft etiquette. It might have been ushering it, it might have been, directed, it might have been whatever, but it was still etiquette. We learned that stuff. We learned how to sit down, and contrary to what people think, I understood everything my pastor said. Mm-hmm. And I understood the word. It was broken down and simplified enough where I understood enough.
And I think the elders, they all are gone, because you had auntie down the street, grandma, whoever, your mother's friends. Mm-hmm. I don't know how many times people called my house saying, "Oh, Jerry, I Michelle, such a place, such." I'm like, "Oh my goodness, you ducking and hiding from your mother's friends. They gonna call your mother. They're gonna call and tell. That's not like that anymore."
Right. And was you gonna say something, Tammy?
No.
Okay. Well,
most of us don't even know our neighbors' names.
Right. I know, not anymore.
When I was growing up, our neighbors were just as much your parents.
Right,
you fear the neighbors. Don't let the neighbor have to say something to you.
Exactly.
Because if our neighbor said something to our parents didn't jump down the neighbor. I didn't do it. That wasn't me. Because my mother would hear they word, and she was only thing they had to do is just tell her what Grace Ann did. Okay, tell her what Grace Ann did, and that would be it.
It's all matter. I think Carmen wrote something. She said, "So many don't know about things because their parents don't know."
Exactly. Kids raising comments.
Right. Yeah, kids raising kids, and the cycle continues. As Rhonda says, we have to have accountability and realizing we count and matter. With so much going on, the self-esteem is low. That's so true. When we were young, we were kids. And yes, God, and we knew our place as children.
Yeah, that's true. Because a lot of kids, they are grown now because the parents they are kind of raising themselves, and that's a part of it. Kids having kids because we were raised by parents. Our parents were parents. They were women, okay, and so they held us accountable. And so when you started getting to the place where kids started having kids, they were still partying and having children at the same time. And so who was home to raise them, to see about their respect, see about sending them to school and being respectful at school when they were really young themselves having kids. And so they were out partying and doing what so they grew up kind of like brothers and sisters almost instead of parent and child, Even when we
our grandparents like that, in our day coming up, you didn't hear about that, but I have students that are grandparents.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
So
yeah.
where the cycle has changed, you know.
And that's a part of the problem. Another thing, when I remember when we were going to church, no matter what kind of church you went, Baptist, God in Christ, Pentecostal, Methodist, AME, everybody went to church on Sunday. Like you went, nobody was in the street because everybody was at church, right? And so now I remember when they were going through burning houses and raiding buildings after the George Floyd thing, and people were putting on where's the church? Where's the church? Where's the church? And I'm like, listen, none of my Sunday school students are out there burning nothing. None of my Sunday school students are out there, throwing rocks and vandalizing, because now I believe there's a generation that really have not raised their children in church, so therefore they don't have the fear of God. They don't have the fear, and they're not subject to their pastor. Like you said, my husband is a pastor. We have people that don't bring their kids to church, and then when their children get in trouble, they want my husband to minister to them. How can they look at him with a man of authority when you really haven't brought them there to see him as an authority figure? You see what I'm saying? And so then you like, so where do we start? Where do we begin? I know Michelle said we just have to be consistent, but I know Rhonda's in the school system. You got to know that there is still a challenge, even in being, consistent. You get burned out after a while. Many of the teachers saying they're being burned out.
I mean, because they're giving excuses. Yes, I do believe that there is mental illness running rapid, and that's a whole nother level by itself. Because a lot of things we demonize when it's just really mental illness. That's that'll take a whole nother segment. But I said one of the things is that people don't understand. They say, where's the church? Well, the church is made up of individual churches.
Yes.
And when we take individual responsibility for these things, like what can I do? And you know what? And be okay with knowing my lane. Everybody is not geared to be outside, protest, whatever.
Protesting and
my crazy self, I am. And I'm okay with that.
In Tennessee, she's in Tennessee.
Some folks would be like the old mothers. You can the power of prayer. Please don't get me going on that one. You can be somewhere having a prayer meeting, whatever. But when we start taking individual responsibility and stop looking for, function like the organism instead of the organization, then we'll start seeing change. But we want to blame and we want them to be able to do stuff. You know what? If you came and be a part of it and not just make noise, but don't talk change, be about the change.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Like we are the individual church. We got to do something individually. So when we start saying, what can I do? What is my place? And even like I said, my husband was not used, my late husband was not used to the school system. So it was like 5 years that I came out of teaching and homeschooled my kids. Because there were certain things that he was used to. He didn't know about them not doing cursive writing and just different disciplines that they've taken away. He could not take it. He's Bahamian. So they grew up under the British law. And so the stuff that they were not doing and being allowed to get away, he just couldn't take it. So we homeschooled for a few. And then that was good for me because it made me focus on my kids. And that's where the change comes from. I got to start, as for me in my house, saints.
Yeah.
Me in my house, that's where we got to start. We got to start with me and my house. And that's where the change starts.
Absolutely. Carmen said, with so many men being incarcerated, absent, and have no example, like we knew, she says to her, a role model. These kids are emulating what they see and learn from peers in the street. So she said, no men in a household with no real role models and examples, so they turn to the street.
Yeah, that's true too. I believe that's definitely, and again, we can go back to the politics of today where many of our Black men are being incarcerated at a high number for minor crimes, if crimes at all. And so it leaves the house vacant. And so if no one is there to, and as much as, my mother raised the 8 of us, much as our women, our mothers can do, you still need a male figure in your life to kind of speak to you as a man mature, to speak one man speaking to another man, to look him in the face and say, this is what you do, this is your accountable. Because we can again go back to our African roots, right? And that's where the men at a certain age, the men used to take over and then minister to the sons, of what their accountability and responsibility is. However, now you don't have that going on, you don't have that camaraderie to go on. And so they're emulating the people in the streets, and they take it from TV and make it a lifestyle. Like we see TV, all the gang banging and stuff. So that's what they take on, because those are where they see the men at.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And men are necessary. There was a big dynamic difference, even though I give props. Was I ever planning on being a single mom? No, I wasn't. And as great as I think I'm a great mother, but the one thing I can't do is teach these men how to be men.
Right.
I can teach it by way of, I teach my sons about their manhood by way of what women would have the expectation of their role as far as a woman is concerned. So
Right.
Dynamic, but I'm still doing this. And then back in the day, did we not have men in our churches or whatever that would step up? You didn't have to ask them if they would. Now they're scared. If you say, "Oh, can you talk to my son?" They're almost scared because they almost think you want to raise a kid.
Right. Yeah.
My husband did a great job being a man. The thing is, we need role models. They need something tangible.
Yeah, right.
So that's the biggest difference too. We don't have our men standing, really raising up in society, not just in the church, but in society. And I think that back then we had a lot of our men, that became our spiritual grandfathers, spiritual fathers.
Right. We did have it.
Yeah.
So what about COVID-19? How you guys have experienced COVID-19? Have anyone lost any loved ones or anyone?
I had
a couple friends.
Yeah.
You had a couple friends, really? In Albany, Odessa?
One lived downstate, and another one, Jack, Mama's brother, he passed, and we all went to school with Jack. Black Jack, you remember Jack?
Yeah,
you remember Jack?
I remember Jack.
Yeah, that kind of bothered me. A couple people that I know. One of my neighbors right outside, I grew up with his kids. He took ill, and within a week he was gone.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Anybody else?
Wow. Yeah, like cousins, that didn't live there.
Right.
A couple of people. Matter of fact, I got a call today. My sister-in-law and brother-in-law and niece, they all got COVID. Down here, we're in denial because we're just getting our spike, and now we're in major denial. It's not real. You guys, this, we need to just go on without the mask. And fine, you do what you do. I have to do what's right for me in my household. But yeah, we're just getting number spikes now. It is very for us here in Tennessee. South Carolina is going crazy. It's going crazy. We are just really getting it now.
Yeah, Florida is going crazy too. How's Baltimore?
Baltimore, we're not as bad as we were, but we still have limited restrictions. They're not sure when the school's gonna go back in. For my job, I'm not out of work. I'm remotely working. We don't know when we're gonna go back to the building. So so for most Maryland, we still kind of shut down.
I go back July 27th.
See, they already got it. Yeah, I'm working remotely too, and Tammy, we gotta say she's a frontline worker. She's a frontline worker. Everybody talk about the medical field, but National Grid, they have not shut down at all. She has to go into people's houses, and she don't know what they got in their houses and things. And every day she's exposed to people. So we focus on medical field, but there's a lot of people, OGS taking our garbage and stuff like that. There's a lot of frontline workers outside of the medical field that have to be out there every single day, and we appreciate the service that they provide us.
Renee's son is from Atlanta. Has her youngest son.
We'll keep him in prayer.
Yeah,
down.
Calls. Yeah, so we got some people that they're dealing with some things now. My sister-in-law will pray for her because she has lupus. So her husband has a defibrillator. So she really wasn't feeling good. And I don't get it. They were saying something about if it's like her temperature get close to 104, you can't wait that long.
Right.
They said because my daughter was sick, Adana was sick, and we took her to the hospital. Her temperature was like 101, and it went up to 10. Yeah, it went up to 101, then 102, and it was like, oh, when it gets to 104, then we, I'm like, but why do we have to wait? Like you said, Rhonda, to 104? Like,
I think it changed so quick, while you en route to the hospital. So, just pray for her, because I felt so helpless, hearing, and I know that this is another topic too about the difference between being fearful and having concern.
Right. Like,
Tammy, how do you deal with it? We are still quarantined, whatever, but you're out there. So mentally, how do you deal with this of a possibility or whatever? So how do you
in the beginning it was really hard. I was stressing. I really was. I was fearful because, I don't have a shield of immunity, but then eventually, with just the PPE and the things that they provided for us and hand sanitizers and things like that, and just praying that when I leave, and I've done this for years, even when my daughter and my niece were growing up, I had a note taped to the bathroom door that said, hey, eat a good breakfast, say a prayer, anoint yourself, and have a good day. So I anoint my hand before I go out the door, and I ask the Lord to bless my going out and my coming in as I pull the door shut. And I just trust and believe that he's going to do it. Because I can't do my job and be fearful. My job is very dangerous.
Right.
So, if I'm up there on a 25-foot ladder and I start thinking about this stuff in my head, I could make any kind of mistake.
Right.
Dealing with live gas, I can make a mistake. So I can't have that fear, around me. I just have to believe that there are people praying for me and that God's just going to protect me.
Right. We had Brenda Robinson on Soul Sisters a few weeks ago, and she was talking about, some of the basic things, kind of what Tammy was saying, that, things that we should have been doing in the first place, of washing our hands, cleaning doors and knobs every now and again, those things are a great benefit in helping for us not to contract the disease and bring it inside our household. I don't know what you mentioned, but Herman's sister, do you know Tanya Thomas, Herman's sister Tanya?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, she passed away from COVID related. She had it. Her son recovered, but she didn't recover. So also, I know many people in Chicago. I know friends and relatives in Chicago, Syracuse, and different places like that at contact. And it so amazes me that people still believe that it's like a hoax. People still believe it's a hoax. And I'm like, and we see tangible numbers. I mean, I know definite people that had it and passed, and people still feel it's a hoax for some reason.
Right.
And I appreciate New York governor. I don't agree with him with a lot of things that he do, or some things. I'm not going to say a lot, but he really stepped to the plate with this one. He really stepped to the plate. He stood his ground, and through people contradicting him and saying he was over exaggerating what he did when he did it. He has really gotten New York numbers down. He really has gotten New York numbers down.
We had no leadership, and we needed that leadership to lead us out. It was like no one from the top was guiding us, and Cuomo stepped up. He wasn't a fave of mine either for a while, but you best believe I tuned into him every day while I'm telling you. And I do. I give him his props too, because he brought us through. He was our hope. Even watching the numbers go back down. If we do what's suggested for us to do, if we follow these things, because you're getting mixed messages. I mean, even people that I know from my church were saying, oh, it's a hoax, you can't believe everything they're saying. And I'm like, I just lost a neighbor who she told me she took her husband to urgent care, and immediately they took him to the hospital, and she never seen him again. His lungs filled up. His lungs got full of it. So you can't tell me it's a hoax. That was very close.
Yeah.
Close. And watching them. Go ahead.
And could you imagine? I've had a story like that. I know somebody in New York, they took their father, and you never get to touch this person again. You never get to touch your husband again. You never get to touch your child again. And so they're in the hospital. You can't even go and say your last farewells, you know, and even with the funeral situation, you can't grieve properly, because you know how when you grieve, your family and friends come to your house, and you know everybody sit around and they love on you, and you talk about old times, and so you grieve. But now people are grieving isolated. I can imagine, you know, the mental issues or mental health issues that are going to evolve through that, not being able to grieve like you want to grieve.
So that's why, and I appreciate my church. Our church is not open at all. We do everything online, and they offered a platform to teach a lot of different subjects. And one of the subjects that was on my heart was trauma, and trauma through the COVID-19, because there's a lot of different things that people are becoming traumatized with, not just only being sick, the fear of dying, and then, like you said, people were dying, not being able to say goodbye to their loved ones, being isolated in a household, because you have people who have issues that they cannot be isolated from other people. And then, you know, you have the kids, and then you have the abuse in the household. You have all these different things going on in the household. So every Monday, I have a Zoom class in regards to trauma informed care, in regards to the Black Lives Matter, COVID-19, and just overall trauma that people go through in everyday life. You know, so what we had prior to COVID-19, all that came into play.
Yes,
Right. It's a lot.
Yeah, that's good that you do have that network to help people, reach people like that. And many of us in the Black community, we're really emotional people, and we connect. We deal with connection. Like even right now, we're not physically touching, but we're connect. And for us not to have that connection, especially at a time like this, is traumatizing. Also, you know, you go from church hugging everybody, you know, kissing each other, you know, hey, how you doing? And now you're like, hi, you know, you know, so it takes a lot of getting used to. I don't know where this is going, but you know, even with the vaccination, and I know COVID, I'm not jumping online and in line to get a vaccination either, you know, because how many medicines that we see on TV every day, they go, if you took this purple pill, or if you took this for any long time, or if you rub this on your skin, now you know, so could you imagine 10 years from now when our ears are dropping off and, you know, our hip is disconnected, they go, oh, whoops, we put the wrong thing in there, you know?
And that's the scary thing, the side effects.
Yeah,
you know,
side effects to everything.
We don't know what we're getting. You know, we really don't know what we're getting.
Yeah.
You know, somebody said to me, when you go get vaccination, they said, do you notice that you'll never see the boxes in which they come out in? You got the movie there.
They doing it so fast. They like making these medication or whatever so quick, so you don't even know if they're effective.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. If a COVID-19 vaccination come out, how can it come out in 1 year? Who are you testing? How are you getting the results? How do you know that it's work? How do you know what long-term effects that it might have?
You can take out the patent report that tells you right there that it's been out a long time. And I mean, my kids, we went into, I told the kids, I actually think we were talking about it. I actually think I had it, but it was a minute ago, because I was in the hospital December 2017. I was in the hospital the whole month of December. Everything that I had it like the symptoms is what they say is COVID. And then I started feeling sick, you know, again. It was October. I was feeling sick, and I went to the doctor. I said something's wrong. So they were checking for, you know, for sarcoidosis, autoimmune, whatever. And so the man says, well, I think you might have mono. I was like, ain't that kissing disease?
Kissing nobody.
Let me tell you all something. It's been, how long has it been, 12, Tammy, Michelle? It's been 12. I'm going to tell y'all now, I told that doctor, I said, let me tell you something. If I'm kissing anybody, it's going to be on Facebook, Twitter. I said, so ain't no kissing disease here. But I will tell you what he said. I said, because I thought that's how it transferred. So that's not coming this way. He said, my doctor said this, This particular mono, you can get through airborne.
Get out.
Dry cough. I was not feeling good. I kept having fever back and forth. He said, this particular mono, you can get by airborne, just from breathing. That it never sat right with me. And then a few months later, you go a circle, and now we're having this thing come out.
Yeah.
They were even saying about people with mono. I had another friend, he said the same thing. The mono that you have, you got it by breathing somebody's air. That's not how it ever was.
They didn't know what to call it.
So, right. And I can go back and tell you specific times when the doctors, at least here, were telling people that. You know, that you got something, and this is a new strand of it, a new kind of it. So, you know.
Not knowing what it was, not knowing what, and that does happen. Even with COVID-19, even if they come out with a vaccination, they said it breaks off in strain. These kind of things break off in strain. So you take the vaccination, and you know how you take the flu shot every year for those that take the flu shot. You get a flu shot and you still get the flu. And you go, how did I get the flu if I take the flu shot? And they said, oh, because we can't give you, something for every strain. How do you know, is it going to even help you out? And if they mandate it, how do you know if it's going to help you out? And, because the flu shot don't even help people out half the time.
Because my daughter was in the hospital, and because we all asthmatic, I asked them, because she had taken the pneumonia vaccine. You get the pneumonia vaccine. Will that vaccine help prevent the vaccine? And they said, no, it wouldn't. I'm like, well, how is that? It's like you said, it's a different strand.
And that was Sharon said. She was talking about how they're guessing. And it was, everybody's even being told they got an upper respiratory infection. Yes. That's the code, that number code. And then pneumonia. So if you have those things, they're just saying that's what it is, pneumonia. And then, we had one of our teachers here, before we even got in, she had double pneumonia. Come to find out she had COVID-19.
Yeah. I had the flu back in December of last year. And I'm thinking back, maybe I did, because they said I had a strand of the flu. Mm-hmm. At that time, that's what they were saying. It was just another type of flu, but who knows? I could have had it too.
Right, I know.
Is that remember we all got that shot on our arm? That big
you still got that mark. We all still got a mark. That much needed vaccination.
Wait, you can tell y'all all got it because y'all all pointed to the same spot.
What was that for anyway? What was that?
I don't know. What was that? But we all got the mark.
That was the MMR.
Yeah.
Okay. Measles, pneumonia, and rubella. Yeah, measles, mumps, and rubella, or something like that.
Oh, yep.
It scarred us for life.
Is that the one that left the mark though?
Yeah, because it was one that rises up.
Right.
I think we got a couple of them, but I remember that one in that arm, boy. We were standing in the line like we was going to the death changer, like
like we go for cheese. Remember that cheese? We were standing in the line.
Like we was headed for death row. Everybody said that.
What's gonna happen?
Like Carmen mentioned the Tuskegee experiment, especially times like these, with the Black Matter issue, all of a sudden you come out, who's getting what shot, who's giving what, and what's inside yours versus what's inside mine,
Right.
Yeah, Stephen, smallpox, Stefan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, small. That's what that shot was for, Stefan. Smallpox.
Oh, Stefan's on too. I can't see who's on.
MMR.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what y'all think about the election now that we're there? What do y'all think about the election?
Well, we need a change. We need a change.
Yeah, I don't know whether Biden is the answer, but I don't.
But at this point,
we do need a change.
Anybody but who's in there now. I don't even like to say his name. Anyone but who's there now.
Yeah, it's so funny because I was outside and I was talking to one of my friends of mine came over. My daughter Bianca was there and we was talking. The primary we did in just a couple of weeks ago, and so I'm talking. I said I gotta be honest. I seen election ballot and I seen Bernie was on there. And I voted for Bernie. And you know what? My daughter and my friend said, so did we. We all started laughing.
Poor Bernie.
We all started laughing. You know, it is what it is.
He would have been a better choice, but
yeah. So I don't know. We definitely need some change. We need a strong leadership, whatever it is. We need a strong leadership. Somebody that at this crisis, this pivotal time in America. This is a pivotal time in America. With Black Lives Matter, with this going on, we need to be drawn together as a country. You see what I'm saying? And even presidents in the past, whether they were Republican or Democrat in the past, I think they would understand that at this time, it's not to make people go to war against each other, but brings people together as a community, as Americans. You see what I'm saying? And it seems like now, you know, we're separating, we're breaking apart, and they're making it fight against one against the other, where it really shouldn't be like that. You know, right now, today, we really need to be coming together as a country.
We know that's the work of the enemy. That's the work of the devil right there.
Yeah, fighting together, to come together as a community, you know, one hand helping the other, you know.
Division.
What you watch out some?
That's how it should be.
Watching out for these things becoming distractions. Because every time we get so focused on one thing, something else is happening in the background, and then we before we look up, it's a law or it's been passed. Because we have to watch. These things are strategic.
Civil war, yes, Sharon.
You know. Yeah, that's what they want. And the thing is, it happens because we give it to them. I had to repent to my kids because, you know, when it came to, because living down here, I really didn't know a lot of the local politicians, whatever. Everybody started looking like one and the same. But I said, you know what, I'm going to be more proactive in making sure I know these people, know what they're about. I mean, politics is politics. Yes, most people will say what they got to say to get in office.
Right.
In reality, that's just truth. I said, but I, didn't realize I guess like a lot of people, I had gotten so discouraged thinking that, your vote don't matter because people were still in elections and, doing dirty stuff and saying nothing seemed honorable anymore.
Yeah.
Valid. So I think that I was a part of that crew that had gotten discouraged and just felt like, why are we going through all this when you're going to put in who you want, still do whatever they want to do, and it's still okay in this country. And so, but we can't, in the midst of discouragement, we can't give up the fight.
Right. You're right.
What people think, I know people think that Martin Luther King didn't do enough, but guess what? He started the party.
Right.
Yes, he did.
And like you said before, we have to start taking accountability. Each one of us have to take on accountability.
Y'all think about getting gun license, getting gun permits, and carrying, and just being ready for whatever. Who knows?
Michelle said, "Get a gun. A concealed weapon." Yes.
I have
a crazy girl like me. I don't need a weapon.
I have oil. I'll have oil. Oil on me. I'll keep oil on me. Ask my kids. I'll have the word on me.
Me too.
Not just in my heart. I told somebody, what's that thing? I'm paper saved.
Okay. Paper Bible saved.
That's right.
I have this on me. I have my oil, but my friends, not just Grace and Mercy, but Smith and Wesson.
Who was it?
Smith and Wesson.
The Houston's of my church. Smith and Wesson. We good. I'm gonna be ready. And then I'll pray for your healing after I shoot you. Hallelujah. Yes, I will shoot you and then pray for your healing.
Deliver. I think was it Nehemiah that wouldn't come down from the wall? He had a weapon in one hand and he built the wall with the other hand. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, you gotta. We gotta be protected. Okay.
What did Stephen say, Stefan?
Stefan said we need a revolution in this country. The original Constitution was not written with us in mind. The expansion of our population calls for a need for change.
Yeah.
Sharon said we need to Peter Popoff.
That's Sharon something else.
We need to Peter Popoff water. Water. Look, Don't make you don't
What
think
do-
you're on your water.
What Carmen says, do not allow anyone to split the vote. The presidency is a big marketing campaign, and learn who as our representatives are. If you do not like someone, doesn't mean that you don't vote. Read and stay up to date. I am learning more. Some people love, some people don't. We have to understand it's not about the president. It's not just about the president. We need to vote for Congress and Senate and mayors. We got to be consistent because there's no need to get somebody that you want in there like Obama and give them any power in the House.
They blocked everything he wanted to do.
You give him like, what did Obama do? He couldn't do it because he didn't have a House and a Senate to work with him. So it's not about the presidency, it's about the Congress, it's about the Senate, it's about your mayors, it's about the senators that can support and rally around who you put in office to get the things that you need to get done. You know,
that's right.
They're wondering whether, do you think Kanye will, that his place is going to cause a divide,
another distraction.
It's another distraction. I don't even want to give voice to that because I don't even want people to put that in his head. I'm like, that's a hoax. Don't even. I don't even want to voice it. You know, because that just don't make it. We got somebody already that don't know the Constitution. You know, and how are we going to put someone else in there to finish the spot? You know,
open the door. But like I said, we were talking about the power because my kids, I gave birth to some militant ones. Y'all pray for them, please. That meant bail money, but
yes, local politics are the most important, Stefan. You're right.
We need it. We do need it, and I think that's the voice that we need to give out because down here they don't have the Democratic Republican next to names anymore.
Wow.
So, from my understanding, they removed that. You just blind voting. So we need to get to know these people.
Yes.
I don't know if y'all churches they used to have to come by our churches. Reverend Surgic.
Yes.
And meet the people and talk to the people.
They come by the church. And the thing is not just the church. And because I'm out in the community and I work with the homeless population, I'm in these places, they need to go those places too.
Right.
Also, and especially our young people who are of voting age, they feel hopeless that no one cares about them, that they don't have a voice, and doesn't matter what they say, what they do, nothing's going to change. And they see those people who come to those churches. I was upset because you come to these churches all the time talking to these people who are going to vote. You need to talk to those people out in the street. That it's going to be a difference. It's going to be made. I invite them to the program. I had them come to the program and meet my people so they can talk to them and give them some type of hope. Because that's what we all need, is some type of hope.
Yes.
Right.
So they can look them in the face and so they can identify you, because that's a lot of it. If I look you in the face and identify and I say, you know, I'm here for you. I need your support, you know, because we can make this happen. That goes a long way.
Oh, wow.
Okay. On a lighter note, how many of you guys seen Hamilton?
I have.
I will this weekend. That's bad.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, you gotta see it.
It's awesome because my kids perform it every day.
Oh my kids have been watching it over. Tammy, you haven't seen it either? Tammy,
I don't get to watch a whole lot of TV. You know, there's been so many storms. We've been working around the clock.
It has been.
It's past my bedtime right now. I'm up at 4.
You know, you look like you sleepy. Okay, we hold the Tammy
time off. I'm asleep. You ain't holding me. I'm just saying, but I'm up at 4 a.m.
Yeah, I know. So, Dessa, why haven't you seen Hamilton?
I don't know.
It's awesome.
I don't sit still long enough. I just don't sit still long enough.
Yeah, I just seen it this week. I just seen it this past week.
I've been trying to watch it this weekend.
Please try to watch it. It's awesome. How did you enjoy it, Michelle, Rhonda?
I loved it. I loved
sleep. Well, because see, my kids, when they turn at a certain time, the credits. Good night. So I'm gonna watch it this week. That's why you're looking at me. I said this weekend, go on somewhere,
Don't you love it when the kids try to mother you? You know, it's like backwards, you know?
Tomorrow.
Yeah, they got it better than we do. They got it better than we had it because we couldn't even interject in a conversation. You couldn't even act like you was agreeing with a conversation going on in another room. Not no, oh what?
Yeah, I know.
They are all my kids are grown, so they stood there. Mine just stand there and stare, but they grown. Like my grandkids, I wish you would try to enter conversation.
Yeah. Mine too. When I post things on Facebook, take that down, Mom. Take that. Mom, you can't say that like this. I'm like, can I do me?
My daughter just texted me, Kobe, to adjust my computer because the lighting isn't right. Fix your angle. She's giving me instructions. What literally right now, and I'm moving the camera around because she's telling me I don't have the right lighting or something.
I have to get it right for next time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. My kids are grown too, and that's what I have to do.
I said, oh, Michelle got on makeup and lipstick. I didn't know we was coming to this thing glamorized. I would have took off my national
Wait a second. Now look at I'm feeling a little bland face. Little lip gloss with some tint. I thought I was doing something.
Okay. Well, Michelle has to spotlight that paparazzi. This is her, you know, baby. So she gotta let them know and represent. And you know, that's a Cowboys.
I'm working from home. So listen, after I got off work, I had my little rag tied, my hair tied up. I said, well, at least I could take this rag off my head. I didn't have much time, but I'm like, it's so different working from home. It's like I don't even get dressed. I don't even think I could fit anything anymore.
Yeah.
I'm always in shorts or sweat. I go in my backyard and that's it.
I don't know. My husband might be watching or something.
Come on,
Speak him into existence.
You can never make a first impression again. You can never make a first
impression.
Go ahead.
You know, will him in.
Okay.
I got my husband watching. All right now.
I think I'm with Odessa. I got the COVID. You know how you say that freshman 10? I got the COVID-19.
Yeah.
You know, I put on some weight.
The crazy thing, I started my new job the day they shut everything down. Like March 26th was supposed to be my first day of work. I couldn't even go into the office. I told the HR girl, I'll meet you on the corner to sign my papers. I just want to make sure I sign my papers. She was like, no. So she emailed me everything. So I've been working from home since then. I even brought in all new clothes and everything. So even if I go to Fridays, I put on my brand new clothes because where I'm gonna wear them to. There's no charge.
I don't like working from home. Yeah. We did virtual teaching. I couldn't stand myself. I was rebuking myself. I don't like being home. I don't either. Outside the house, that's me. Because I can say that, God, give me a chance. I can work from home, do whatever. I'm sorry. I am a hands-on teacher. It's totally different. And for me, I think I lack discipline being in the house where I can't leave my job. You know, it's everything I can't. So I don't like working from home.
I know my hip started hurting. I was in a ortho surgery, you know, because my hip hurting, and the doctor said you're sitting down too much.
Yes, you told me the same
thing. I mean, pain out of this world, you know, pain out of this world is because I'm not moving enough. You know, I'm sitting here on the computer all day. So
me too, Grace. I just had injections last Monday. My hips have been killing me terribly, but it's been going on for a while now. Before I started working from home, but you mentioned that. But now I'm feeling better since I had the injection. So I walk on my break. On lunch, I go out, walk down the hill, and walk back up.
Yeah, I've been getting up consistently too.
Also,
y'all need to be free. That is not COVID-19 stay at home. You're behind.
I'm claiming COVID.
Be free in Jesus' name. Come on, let me free you up today. Come on.
Yes.
Since I've been sitting down at home, let me tell you something. You're behind for getting old.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, a little bit of both. Can I say a little bit of both?
Okay, I'll accept that. When you start, I laugh because I used to crack at my mom, and when you hear yourself get up and you start going, oh, God.
Mhm. Yes, I feel like the Tin Man.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the Tin Man. That's exactly.
I feel like the Tin Man in the morning. I'm like, oh, and then if I sit at my desk too long, I'm like, oh, Jesus.
Sharon laughing too.
Now you start feeling pain. Like, oh my God, I didn't know that was over there to feel pain from.
You got to get up and do 30 squats, do some squats.
Yes.
That's what I start doing.
I work out.
Do what? 30 squats.
I squat by faith.
Not you, Tammy. Tammy get enough exercise. She's no, we gotta let Tammy go.
No, I really don't. I really don't.
Wait, did you just nod, Tammy? Did you just? How you gonna nod off and then try to? She tried to recover with a sexy look.
No, I was looking on the floor for my flip flop.
For flip flop.
I did not. Nah, I did not.
Your hot flash coming out, lady. Hot flashing now. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Now, if y'all heard a secret snore come in there, then y'all would know that it was. Then you would have a problem because I can snore with my eyes open.
Girl, you do.
Okay, I can
you
snore.
Do it, and I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna just bust out laughing because
when I'm out in the woods. Let me just tell you, when I'm out in the woods for 22 hours, I can sleep like this.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can sleep with my eyes open too. I could too.
Like darkness out in the woods.
That you got that.
Tammy good. Tammy's good. 4
o'clock in the morning.
Stefan says, "Why is the black man still being haunted? Police being lynched, black on black killings. Why is the black man still being haunted?
Haunted, yeah. Police being lynched, black on black killings." You know, Stefan, to me, and I ain't trying to spiritualize everything, even though I will half the time. I just think it's about the seed. I think it's about the seed. The greatest genocide, I believe, not just mentally killing people off, whatever, is the destruction of that seed. With the Tuskegee assignment, you know, when they injected folks, that's just what it did. They all became sterile, along with some other things that they did. So the sterilization and the killing of the seed is something that we've been dealing with for years. And I remember, even though I don't care for a lot of his philosophy, his lesson is Umar.
Omar. Yeah.
Okay, and Omar. You know, I have to flow every once in a while, but I try to listen to people. And not everybody I agree with anyway, but he said something about when the deterioration of the black family has to start with the black man. You have to break that. And he went back into history how they used to just work factory jobs. They didn't have college degrees, but many of them made good money working in factories, and they had insurance and they could take care of their family. And many of the wives were able to stay home with the children, that typical family. But what he did was when he took those jobs away in our neighborhoods, drugs were introduced in. It began to destroy the black man. And when you destroy the black man, you can destroy that family.
You're right. Yeah.
So we miss that part because we're so used to the women right now being forefront or whatever.
The center, yeah.
But when you actually remove that essence, and that's why I think, Stefan, there's got to be a lot of rebuilding in every area. I learned, I'm just going to tell you wives, and I'm not saying be abused by anybody, but you better learn how to talk to your man. Because sometimes we murder them with the things that we say out of anger. I could tell you I was lethal with my mouth. But I had to learn, once I learned how to respect him, whatever, that man will build for you if they know that you got their back. And I'm talking about the good man. I ain't talking about the one that don't want to do nothing.
Right.
But sometimes I believe that, how many times do we complain about the Black man instead of finding mechanisms to build them up? Because they're dealing with stuff on the job and they come home and they got to deal with that stuff too. So I think that we got to be mindful, because a lot of the slander of the Black man, we can blame police brutality or whatever. But when I see us do it to ourselves, whether it's in our homes, whether it's in our communities, wherever it is, I think that we could turn the tide on what the police is doing when we learn how to come together as a people ourselves and build each other up and build our men up. I have 4 sons, so I take offense when they say things like the Black man is this, or sometimes we stereotype things we say stereotypical things out of our mouth too. All men are dogs or whatever. I didn't raise no dogs. Right? And I didn't. And we did, like I said, we did our job in our house. So I think that hunting, once we start hunting our own, and I know it does not free up. I'm not saying anything about police brutality. That's a whole thing in and of itself. But again, we have to come back and take responsibility and have accountability within ourselves, within our community. What can we do to change? There are good men out there. There are great Black men out there. The question I want to ask women do you have the power to attract? Do you have what it takes to attract a good man like that?
Come here.
We could be on this for another hour, because you said a lot, and there is a lot, and really it has to come from all different sides. There is systemic racism in the system, built in the system. There is
Wait a minute, y'all talking about me. Look at Michelle.
I'm sorry, my daughter was talking to me.
She thought she was dozing. But
Mariah was talking to me. She just walked. That's why I put my headphones in, because she just walked in the door.
Okay.
No, but you had your head back.
She was showing. So she had gotten her hair cut, and she was showing me her hair. She thinks it's thinning at the top, and I was like, "No, it's not." Yeah, she had just gotten her hair cut. Yeah. No.
So then they have a pipeline they said from 5th and 6th grade to penitentiary, and so those things need to be resolved, but also in our community. Black men, yes, we need to start encouraging and lifting our Black men up, and they need to start encouraging and lifting us up. It's a hand in hand. I believe in a system, biblical or not. What comes out of your mouth, that's what's gravitating. So if you speak out of your mouth, he ain't no good, then that's what they're going to be no good. I mean, if they speak out of their mouth, the Black woman, the she, Shanae, or whatever, then that's what we're going to be. So we got to start speaking differently in our environment, in our home, in our society, and start speaking life and more positive things. Yes, a lot of other things have to happen, but like Rhonda said, it starts with us. That's Carmen.
Wow, gotta have a gentle tongue. Lots to do with having to do things alone so much. Also, the communication is so continuous and continuous. It goes both ways. We both carry so much pain. We deal with discrimination too, low self-esteem, lack of love of self on both ends. How do you love each other when you can't even love yourself? And that's ouch.
That's true. That's true. And I was on another Zoom, this was a couple weeks ago, and this lady was saying how she was in her second marriage, and she said she didn't know how to love her husband, because she was still leaking from the first husband, from what happened in high school or junior high. And so her second husband said, you need help. And it was when she started getting that help, she could see how she was murdering her husband with her tongue, So a lot of times we go through things, and because they were never really resolved, we just push them push them down, that we don't really know. And just relationships too, friendships between women, we have lost relationships between girlfriends and friends and relatives because things happen and they never was resolved, and we take it all out on the next person. So, it's a well-rounded thing that we have to do in every particular area. But I know it's getting late, and we got to let Sister Tammy get off so she can get some sleep. I love you. I appreciate.
Well, I think before we leave, maybe it should be another platform in regards to relationships and how to effectively communicate with men, and have men on here also, so they can share their point of view.
Awesome. I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to do that. And if the brothers out there give us a invite, let us know that you look at Carmen's for that. Invite, let us know. Stefan, I'm sure he will definitely be on the show. We'll reach out maybe in another 2 weeks. We could get on a couple of us and you know, we can monitor it. Thanks, Renee. Thanks for hanging on with us. And we can have that conversation, because until we start speaking about it, things are not going to change. Until we start speaking about it, things are not going to change. But I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I appreciate you. Please stay safe out there. Please stay safe.
Love you, ladies.
Thank you, Facebook Live, all those that joined us tonight.
Thank you for coming.
Be blessed, be blessed, be blessed. And until next time, take care.
Okay, God bless you.